Hello, people of God. Okay, so I wanted to talk about like creating the life that you want, and I don't have a lot of time to like touch every base. So this is just specific to those who believe that they have this freedom to operate in, and I also want to challenge those people who don't feel like they don't have that freedom as well, and they really do. Um, So this is mainly for Christians. But if you're not, and you think this is helpful, you're welcome to take it. But anyways, I feel like, I've met Christians that have been so loyal to trying to please God or trying to walk with God, and it's led them into a mindset, like, or even just a being in bondage to perfection. Like, it's gotten them into bondage to being perfect and walking with God. You will never be perfect in this flesh on this earth while walking with God. The only thing that makes you perfect is the blood. That's it. Ain't nothing that you do. You will never be perfect. The blood is what makes you perfect. His spirit is what makes you perfect. Is his seed living inside of you is what makes you perfect. Not your actions. Your righteous works are a reflection of your maturation in the faith, but it's not your perfection. Your works are not your perfection. The spirit inside of you is the perfection that you possess. So, anyways, I've met Christians who are so anal in trying to walk with God that they will even ask God, "Hey, how do you want me to do my hair, God, today? Or how do you want what shirt you want me to wear today?" And I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing that. If you have a relationship with God to where you're like, and you and him speak like that, I think that's a beautiful thing, honestly. But I think that if you're doing that because you want to get everything right, or you want to be perfect in every move that you make, and you're asking him so that you can be right in his eyes, then I'm just going to be honest. I don't think that that is a God thing. I don't think that you're operating the way you should operate, because that is very taxing to do that, to where you're asking God, "Hey, should I go outside today?" And this is an everyday thing. You're literally asking him, "Hey, should I go outside today, God?" And you will not leave the house until he tells you to go outside. And it's like, well, you will never eat because you'll never work, because you're afraid of, like, you're afraid of taking the steps that you need to take your behind outside, and just trust God to like protect you, to feed you. Trust him. You know what I'm saying? I've met anal Christians like that. And if I'm being honest as well, I'm not saying that some of us who may not be that anal can't also get into a situation where we are that anal in a particular situation. You may not live your life that anal, but you may get yourself in a situation where you have become that anal in a particular situation. And if that's you, I want to encourage you to trust God, to make decisions for yourself. And that if there's a desire for you to be financially free, if there's a desire for you to, have a house, if there's a desire for you to travel, these are all good things. Ask yourself, is it wrong to travel? No. Well, maybe right now because we're in the COVID crisis, but use common sense. Right now it's probably not a good time to travel, right? But like, is it generally a sin to travel? No, it's not. Is it a sin to want a house? No, it's not. These are all good things. And you can have these things. And I think that, like I said, I've met people who have already like outwardly professed they want to submit their lives to God and they want to include God into their life, but they're still figuring out how that looks here on this earth. And I think that if you find yourself in perfection bondage, you can become anal to the point where anything that comes up that goes against what you're going through, or if you're having trials after trials, or if you're having things that are coming up and you're like, well, it's sometimes you can become discouraged, and it's like, hey, go ahead and accept that in this life you will have trials and tribulations. Trials and tribulations are not an indication necessarily that you are doing things wrong. Trials and tribulations aren't an indication all the time that you always need to be in your prayer closet, praying the heavens down. I think that at some point we need to trust how far God has matured us and just simply make decisions. It's almost like, as children, we grow up underneath our parents' household and they protect us, and then once we get older and we grow up a little bit, they're like, all right, you're on your own. I'll be here to guide you, but you're on your own. You're grown now. I can't make every decision for you. And I truly believe that that's how God is. He's not going to make every decision for you. I don't think that's realistic. I don't know everything, but I don't think that's realistic. And I believe that in creating the life that you want, you have to be okay with not getting on your knees every time and just simply making a decision. And I'm going to use myself as an example. And I'm not saying that I am the ultimate example, so please, okay? But I'm just using myself as an example. I didn't want to be broke anymore. I came from a household where we were always struggling. We had great moments, and we always, seemed to always be provided for. But we also had some really terrible times to where I said, I would like to be financially free, not have a yo-yo lifestyle where we have our highs and, we're doing great. And then all of a sudden we ain't got no money, And I had to look at the patterns of my family, and common sense was we didn't know how to manage money well. We were poor money managers. That's why we were up and down. And there are times where this may not be you, where you're making great financial decisions and stuff just happens in life. That's fine. But I truly believe that a lot of times, we will find we will over spiritualize a situation, and it's like, no, honey, you just are a poor money manager. Maybe you need to learn how to manage your money skills, and then you can see, yourself in a better financial situation for the rest of your life. There are people who are rich, and they don't necessarily always make the best decisions, but they always find a way to stay rich. And I believe that could be my life too, if I educate myself and make better decisions. So anyways, I decided to go to school, decided to get a career. And, I've been blessed ever since. Thank God that my mother said, Nina, you are not quitting respiratory school. You are graduating. And I'm glad that I graduated, because ever since then, I have had a sense of financial freedom, at a level where I could take care of Nina. I don't have to worry about, money in a sense of where I was when I was a child or when I was in college. That doesn't mean that I've never been in bad financial situations where I needed help. Yes, so I've had help. I've had grace. Praise God for that too. But one of the things that I can say is that I just make decisions. I just make decisions. And then I give it over to God. And then every once in a while God will pull my coattail and be like, "No, don't go this way." And I'll listen. And there are times where sometimes I don't even know if it's God. But then something will stop me from being able to do something. And that's okay. You know, I'll go around it. Or I just accept that, hey, this is just, maybe I need to regroup and I just keep it moving, you know? But I don't live my life, you know, in my closet. I don't. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but what I am saying is that if you can't do life with God, meaning just live your life and make decisions, and you get all your answers from a closet, meaning you restrict yourself to only getting answers in your closet, you may miss the answers that God gives you by just going. When he told Abraham to go, I don't think Abraham was always in his closet getting answers on where he should go. And in fact, the Bible says that God told him to go, and Abraham did not have a clue of where he was going. He just went. He just went. And I think that some of us could probably learn from Abraham to just live your life. If you want to be financially free, if you want, the house, the car, and you're having issues in finding a job, keep looking for a job. Sometimes the answer is in your perseverance. Just keep looking for a job until you find a good job. It may take you 2 years. Oh, but then at that second year mark, you finally found a steady job. And sometimes we'll give up at the 1 year mark and say, well, it's been a year. I guess God doesn't want me to have a job because it's been a year. And it's like, what if the second year you find a stable job, but you gave up at the first year? People who are entrepreneurs and are going down that path. You don't have to do it like a lot of entrepreneurs do it, which is, my entrepreneur is my only plan. I'm gonna work hard to make this work. I know some entrepreneurs that use their job as a way to provide for their entrepreneurial interest. You have options. That's all I'm saying. You have options. Use them. Don't be afraid to make choices for yourself. Don't be afraid to keep persevering and finding what you have to find, whatever you have to do until you get to where you want, till you create the life that you want. And trust me, if God doesn't want you to do it, you won't. But just because an obstacle comes up doesn't always mean that that's God trying to stop you. Sometimes that's just keep going. Maybe you can't go through that door, but maybe you can go through the window. Don't grow weary in doing good, and sometimes you don't even know that you're doing a good thing, but just use your common sense, you guys, please. Don't be in bondage to, perfection. Just live your life.